All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have the 81 overall Buffalo Bills 0-2 traveling to Minnesota to take on the 82 overall Minnesota Vikings led by Coach Smitty Werberman Jensen. And this one, someone has to pick up their first win. Let's see who it is. We'll take you down to the field here in just a few moments. Well, that's not fair. Coach Werberman Jensen, one of his goals is to win by 10 or more points. He doesn't want to win at all. Here you're getting a look at some of the key position comparisons. It's pretty even here. Some positions match up better for the Bills, some for the Vikings. All right, Red. Even though you don't want to win, I'm rooting for you. I want you to win. Mostly if for no other reason than for the fact that I want the humans to get closer to beating the computers. Here we are at lovely U.S. Bank Stadium with a partial dome, and there's a dragon. Didn't see that one coming. Who you guys got? 1 in the chat for the Bills, 2 in the chat for the Vikings. Mitch Trubisky coming out like a damn superhero. You forgot your cape though, Trubisky. Let's see what happens. Luke thinks the Vikings are going to win despite Red's best efforts. Trubisky walking up and down the bench, trying to fire up the troops. Coach Red, eager to put in his worst quarterback, accidentally left Trubisky in last week by the fault of the commissioner, but Trubisky ended up sucking bad enough to earn the starting job back. So we're going to see Deshaun Watson's poor play for the Buffalo Bills taking on Trubisky's arguably worst play for the Minnesota Vikings. Should be interesting to see who can suck bad enough to come out of this one without a win. Trubisky and the Vikings offense will take over first. Trubisky in the gun. Here we go. Play fake, and Trubisky eats the sack. First play of the game. I could feel something bad coming for the Vikings. That's why I took the inhale and exhale before I even made the call. 2nd and 18, and Coach Werberman Jensen's just on the sidelines like, yeah, fuck yourself, buddy. Like, we don't even care about you. The Bills bringing a corner blitz. Wasn't it always going to be more Ghost of Tsushima anyway today? Bills in a 4-3 defense. Vikings single back formation. Backed up to their 17-yard line. A handoff to Carlos Hyde. He's swallowed up for a loss of 1. 3rd and 18. Well, why is it Ghost of Tsushima then? Allen just sheds his blocker with ease and gobbles the man up in the backfield. Vikings, 3rd and 18. Trubisky in the gun. 4 wide receivers. Looking. Running backwards. He's running backwards. And he's going to be taken down at the 4-yard line. See, Red? Trubisky has earned your confidence as the starter. That's going to bring up 4th and 31. The Minnesota punt team will send its punter out onto the field, and he'll be kicking from the shadow of his own goalpost. There you see Sheard coming up with the big sack on the Vikings quarterback. Man, that could have been blocked. But it's Buffalo, so it wasn't. Bernard fields this one, returns it to his own 45, and that's where Deshaun Watson and the Buffalo Bills will take over. There you see Watson's stats. Arguably better than he's actually looked, though. That's not saying much considering those aren't great stats. Well, there you go, Adea. At least you'll be able to play a game you actually like then. Watson in the gun. 2 receivers to his left, 1 at the bottom of your screen. Lee motions from left to stack under Brown, and Lee is the target of this one on a slant. Complete for 6 yards. It'll be 2nd and 4 at the 49-yard line. Where's my guy standing up for me? Ban this little bastard here. Welcome back, Petrie. How'd the dashing go so far? Watson in the gun again, looking over the middle, complete to Harris. This one, he's dragging men with him. This one, a gain of 16. 1st and 10 to the Vikings 33. Beautiful. Haven't started yet, waiting for 3. Okay. How similar is DoorDash to Uber? Like, I mean, I know what Uber is because I've driven for Uber, but like in terms of like money made or time spent, that kind of thing, how similar is it? Watson, play fake, looking deep over the middle, completion to Lee, and that's going to be a touchdown, Buffalo. 33-yard strike. I have officially quit my job. Well, congratulations. I'm not sure hanging all your hopes on DoorDash alone was a smart move, but hey, if it works for you, I'm happy for you. Think Uber's more expensive, like from a customer standpoint, or like they charge you as the driver more? DoorDash more popular in the area? I gotcha. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm in LA, and I'm not sure what people use more here in terms of like food delivery. I don't know if they use DoorDash more or Grubhub or Uber Eats. I think there's a couple other ones out there. I don't know what they use. Buffalo takes the early 7-0 lead, and Minnesota will get the ball back at their 25-yard line. Does it full time? I mean, there's no way I would make more money door dashing than I do as a nurse. But if I could get paid to, like, you know, do that instead of nursing and be able to pay my bills and work less time, that would be pretty nice. Especially if I decide to go back to school. Trubisky with a handoff to Hyde. Big gain up the middle. Could have been better, but he decided to try and spin, and that's going to be a gain of 8. Already made my normal paycheck in 15 hours less of work. Nice. How long have you been doing it, though? You said you've only done 50 deliveries or 49. Like, that's... I don't know that that's enough of a sample size. That's like, what, 1 or 2 weeks worth of deliveries? Play fake from Trubisky, bootleg to the right, throws to Boyle, who runs out of bounds for a loss of 2. Vikings showing why they're 0-2 here. Trubisky, his only completion, losing yards. 3rd and 4 for the Vikings. Since Friday. I got you. How often's the payout? Is it like a daily thing? Or does it like go in a bank until you withdraw? Like, what happens there? I'm curious. I might try signing up for it and just doing it for a day or 2 and seeing how it goes just to look at it. I stopped driving for Uber because I didn't want people in my car. Trubisky to throw back. Oh, it's tipped, and then Seymour picks it off. Oh, what a great play from Seymour. Seymour breaks on this one, initially drops the interception. He bumbles it, but he ends up catching it and running it back for 6. And Trubisky, if that hasn't earned the starting role for Red's hapless Vikings, I don't know what has. It's pretty awesome. I drove for Uber and I didn't like it. I didn't make nearly enough money to make it worth my time. 205 stars and 2 1-stars. Boo. You don't want me in your car? No, I want you in my bed, Amber. Can be daily once I get 2 weeks in, but if not, it's every week, either Tuesday or Wednesday. Wait, so you have to only do it once a week, or until you do it for 2 weeks? Bruh, show up to Boss Beat. She started it. Go back to stealing Woody from Andy. Got a 1-star for someone who ordered McDonald's for a store that had closed. That sucks. Oh, Red, are you talking about your rating from DoorDash or for Uber? Or for Uber Eats? Buffalo now with a 14-0 lead here with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Trubisky throws the screen out to Sims. Able to shed some blockers and some tacklers. He spins around one, and it's a big completion. First down, Buffalo has an injury. I just need your cell phone number. I'd get $300 for recruiting me. Fucking better share. Like I said, Red, I didn't like Uber driving. I would try Uber Eats, but driving for Uber, I didn't make any money at all. I mean, I got like 3 5-stars. It was an admittedly small sample size, but I just wasn't making enough money to justify putting all those miles on my car and spending money for gas. It wasn't worth it. Minnesota, Trubisky, 3-step drop, under center, looking left, hits Reed for a gain of 6, maybe 7. Ball's about to go put the moves on Andy's mom. Safety coming up for the blitz. It's picked up, and Trubisky's back to throw. This one broken up. Trubisky has more yards to Buffalo than he does to his own team. Here we go. 3rd and 3 for the Vikings. Just inside the Buffalo side of the 50. 3 wide receivers. Bunched in tight to Trubisky's right. Trubisky back to throw. Under pressure, able to get it away. This one complete to Reed. And that's going to be a 25-yard gain to the Buffalo 23. You get paid every Tuesday or Wednesday once you get to at least 25 deliveries. You've been working for DoorDash for 2 weeks. Oh, okay. You get the option to get paid every day. I gotcha. Okay. If you choose to only get it bi-weekly, do you still have to pay $2 to get paid? Or will they pay you automatically at that point? Trubisky, play fake. Looking to throw, rolling right. Now he's looking to run off like a, I don't know, a wounded gazelle. He ends up getting 12 yards and an extra hit for it. No? Okay. So unless you need the money, it's better to let them pay you at the end of 2 weeks then. Perryman whiffs on Trubisky. Trubisky showing off the moves. Looks like his legs are better than his arm and his head. Trubisky under the gun, looking to throw. He's running backwards. Now he's rolling to his left. He throws. This one complete on the sideline, and it's going to be a touchdown for the Vikings. Minnesota gets on the board, and this is the most amount of points we've seen in the first quarter, probably all season. We're about to have 21 points on the board here in the first quarter. Right? Yeah, I got you, Petrie. Wait, did he get the foot in bounds, though? They're going to say it's a touchdown. The extra point is good. And as we go into the second quarter, your score is Buffalo 14, Minnesota 7. When it comes to driving like Uber delivery, like not food but people, I think I did like 5 rides and I only made maybe 20 bucks. I was like, that is not worth my time at all. It's like $4 per ride, and I had to drive all the way across Knoxville twice to do 2 of them. How many more games we got? Depends on how long I stay awake. In terms of how many just are left, I think there's 4, maybe 5. In terms of how many we have left today, it depends on how long I stay awake. Ingram with a carry for 1 yard, and that'll bring up 2nd and 9 for the Bills. Watson connects with Lee, and they seem to think that this one was available to be intercepted for a bit, as it is separated from Lee's body after the hit, and then it bounces around without touching the ground. 3rd and 9, Watson rolling, looking, throwing, complete to Williams, 1st down. Yeah, you've got a bye week next week. I think you're the only one on bye week next week. Week 7 is a great week for me as the broadcaster who's got other stuff that he needs to do, because week 7 we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. That's the least amount of games on tap between some of y'all being on bye week, and we've also got 1, 2, 3, 4 user versus user matches that week too. Watson under center, throws, connects to Lee this time. He actually does hold on, and that's a gain of 9. Coach Smitty on the sidelines pretending to be upset. Watson looking really good today against the Vikings. Has looked like utter trash against the other 2 teams. Play fake, and right as soon as I sing his praises, he's going down. That's a loss of 9, and that'll be 3rd and 10 for the Bills. 4 minutes to go till halftime. Oh, that's cool. Like with Uber, you can decline rides, but if you decline enough rides, it starts going against you. And that decline enough rides is like a really limited number. Watson in the shotgun, 3rd and 10. Looking to throw, throws it out left to his running back, Ingram. And Ingram's going to pick up 5, but that's going to be a stop for the Minnesota defense. 4th and 5, and we'll see the Minnesota punt return team on the field this one. Solid stop by the defense there. You got to wonder if Coach Werderman Jensen is displeased now. Imagine if the Vikings come back from 14 points down and win while he was trying to lose. 1st and 10 for Trubisky and the Vikings at their 12-yard line. Yesterday, your first order, they wanted me to do a McDonald's order for $4. Declined it. Nah, I don't blame you. Trubisky, play fake, looking, dancing around in the pocket. He's going to go down. Sheard coming up with his second sack of the game, and that's a loss of 3. Trubisky proving time and time again why Coach Red has the utmost lack of faith in him. Uber added up to be $30 an hour. Damn. Must be nice. It was definitely not that for me. I would rather deliver food, though, if it's comparable, because then you don't have to worry about anyone in your car. Like, you don't have to worry about drunk people or people being dirty and nasty or anyone upset with the music you play. Friday night was nonstop rides. Part of it was also that, I was in Knoxville, so yeah, like you could have some decent, rush hour type of things, but in general, the only real money to be made with Uber, at least in Knoxville, was like New Year's Eve. Big first down completion for the Vikings. And that'll bring them up to the 25-yard line as we creep closer to the 2-minute warning here in the first half. Trubisky with another play fake. Rolling right, he's going to sprint. He's going to take this one, and he stood up. It's still a first down run, though. 1st and 10 for the Vikings, and we hit the 2-minute warning. Because of my 5-star rating, I match with people 4.7 and up. Those folks are very respectful. Well, that's nice. I got a couple of, good people, of course. Like I said, I only did 5 rides. My worst ride, though, was still not bad. It was just weird. I picked this guy up at the bar that was like literally right across from my apartment. But then I had to drive him across town, and I only made $6 for it. And it took me 20 miles to get there. I was like, that's ridiculous. Trubisky throws this one away. You get peak pays almost every day in some areas, which means you get a little bit of extra pay for every delivery. Right, that's the same with like peak rides for Uber. Trubisky complete up to the 49-yard line here. 1st and 10 for the Vikings as the clock rolls. 1:40 to go in the first half. The only good way to earn with Uber is weed delivery? No. Sims complete for 2 yards. That'll bring up 2nd and 7, even though he only gained 2 yards. Clock continues to roll. Minnesota with all 3 timeouts. Trubisky swings it out to the flat, and he's going to lose a yard here. Clock continues to move. 3rd and 9. They hurry back to the line instead of using a timeout because Trubisky is that great of a leader. Trubisky looking, throwing deep over the middle, and it's complete to the 33-yard line. 1 minute to go in the half. Calvin Ridley coming up with a 17-yard grab. Red on the sidelines, a little concerned, worried that he might come back here. Trubisky in the gun, 4 wide receivers set. Looking over the right, hits Sims, who rolls out of the first tackle, but he's taken down immediately afterwards. Very modest gain of 1. And the Vikings call their 2nd timeout. Trubisky looking to make something happen here. Looks left, throws over the middle, and there it is. He's intercepted by the Buffalo safety. Ho, 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 ho. Let me introduce you to Captain Insano. Looking like something straight out of the water boy. Take a look at that return again. Solid interception from the safety. Hurdles one guy who's trying to attack him from behind, and watch the takedown here. It didn't show it again. Well, that one might make the top 10 plays just because it's funny. 4.83. Nice. Who the hell's has Luck? Roddy. And honestly, Luck has sucked this season so far. But you have access to the entire roster. I spent hours doing it. Feel free to use it. Buffalo completed pass for 4 yards, calls their first time out. Two timeouts remaining for Buffalo. They've got 42 seconds to work with. Can they get down the field and add to their lead? Ingram motioning out of the backfield. Safety follows. Watson to throw. Looking left. Hits Williams. Complete. Jukes out of one tackle and carries the defenders forward for another couple of yards. 1st and 10 to the 37, and Buffalo calls their second timeout. Amber, your Uber rating is about the same as my GPA. Buffalo has only run the ball once, despite having at one point a 14-point lead. Watson to throw, looking over the middle. It is complete. The clock is moving. It's a gain of 7, but they're going to have to hurry. At this point, there's no point in not clocking it, but here we are. They're not clocking it. Wasting time. Still wasting time. Watson back to throw. Poor clock management all week from a lot of teams this week around, but that's going to be complete for another 2 yards, and that'll bring up 3rd and 2. Deshaun Watson going to get one shot at the end zone here. I'm kind of expecting a Minnesota interception. Then again, they may just hand the ball off and call it a day. Yep, that's exactly what they do. They hand off to Ingram, who stopped, and come on, Minnesota. You know you're not going to do anything. Minnesota calls their final timeout with 3 seconds to go in the half. They could have just let those 3 seconds go, and we could have been at halftime, but no. They're out here thinking they're going to return the punt for a touchdown. I would laugh if they did, though. In fact, they're not even going to get to touch the ball. I'm pretty sure the returner didn't even get to look at it. It just went over his head. He didn't even bother. So, on the plus side, Coach Red, though, out there realizes that unlike some of the other teams, those timeouts, they don't follow you past halftime. He used it up. We've been on for almost 9 hours, just about non-stop commentary. Jaw's getting a little sore. Gonna do some little squirrel massage exercises here. They're taking you around the league to games that we've already seen the scores for. But I guess it's new for somebody. I don't know. I did tag Jay Dean almost an hour ago in Discord to see if he was going to bother to show up today. He may not even be available. He may be at work. I don't know. But he's active on Discord, and he has been for hours, but hasn't messaged back and hasn't responded to any of the DDFL messages. So not sure how likely it is he'll be here for any games. So the Browns may become available if anybody wants him. But who wants the Browns? He might be safe for multiple seasons to come. Buffalo fields that kickoff, runs it back to the 24-yard line. Fuck, let me get Mahomes then. Bills out in the I formation. Watson, handoff to Ingram. Looked like he had a gash up the middle, but settles for a 5-yard gain. Three receivers bunched tight to the left. Watson, handoff to Ingram, counter step, gets the first down, is slung backwards, but he's still going to get credit for the first down. 1st and 10 at the 35. And he has Marshawn Lynch, right? Watson in the gun, 4 wide receivers. Ingram to his right. Watson throwing over the middle, connects to Williams, who's going to take this one into Minnesota's half of the field. That'll be 1st and 10 for Buffalo at the Minnesota 48. Yeah, the Eagles are open. Not for you, though. You already picked a team you're stuck with. I don't know if you're asking for someone else, though. Watson looking, throws left, and it's complete to his running back out of the backfield for a gain of 7. 2nd and 3 at the Vikings 41. Chances I could trade Stafford? I don't know. I mean, you could redeem the offer of trade and give it a shot. I won't be processing any trades until after everyone's games are done. The only reason I gave you the information I did about OBJ is because I happen to know it since I had already made the attempt. Watson under center, 2nd and 3. This one a handoff to Ingram, who stretches it out to the right. Solid block from the receiver there, allowing Ingram to pick up an extra 2 or 3 yards, and that's going to be 1st and 10 at the Vikings 29. We had a couple of votes say the Vikings were going to win this one, but we know Red voted for the Bills, and so far Red is looking correct. Here comes the safety on the blitz. It's picked up, and it's intercepted by the Vikings in the cover 1 defense. Conley coming up with this turnover. That's the Deshaun Watson we're used to seeing. And Trubisky and the Vikings offense will get the ball 1st and 10 at their own 31 with a chance to come down the field and make it a tie ball game. Trubisky on the day, 11 of 15, 109 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. I said their own 31-yard line. I was 13 yards off. They're at their own 18. 4 wide. Trubisky, pump fakes, looks right, complete to Reed, who's got a lot of room on the sidelines. Now it doesn't matter how off I was because they're up to their own 44. And so far, I'm pretty pleased with the internet. We've been on for 9 hours, and I've only dropped 0.1% of my frames. So, knock on wood, but things are looking pretty good today. The Vikings have also not run very often. Only 4 runs to, I believe that said 16 passes. Trubisky, pump fake, looking, rolling out right. And, oh man, it's tipped again. Then it's off of the defender's heel as he runs by. And the offensive stats very even here. 2nd and 10 for the Vikings. This one, play fake, throws to the right, and I definitely thought that was going to be intercepted. It is broken up, but it's not intercepted. 3rd and 10 for the Vikings. Empty backfield. Trubisky standing in the gun, throws over the middle to Boyle, who gets up to the 47-yard line of the Bills, is stood up and brought down. Buffalo able to hold them just before the line to gain, and it's going to be 4th and 1. They're going to have to start thinking about going for it on 4th down here soon if they continue to trail in this game. For now, there's still plenty of time. Allen on to punt. And this one's going to go out of bounds at the 1-yard line. What a punt from Allen and the Vikings. Offer a trade. DM me what I know you want Stafford, but DM me what you're willing to give up for him, and I'll try and make the trade. Watson coming out, 12 of 14. Look at that. You couldn't have gotten any closer. Not even the 1-yard line. It's like the 1/4 yard line. Watson under center, hands off to Ingram. And rather than get the safety and get 2 points, Minnesota lets him run straight up the gut for a gain of about 12. 1st down, Buffalo. Not until I eventually get a chance to add that to the rosters, which I'll probably work on after all the games are done. Handoff to Ingram. This time he stood up and dropped for a loss of 2. Actually, they're going to give him 2. 2nd and 8. I don't believe it. I think they're making it up. Yeah, they won't take that, I can already tell you. Watson under center, 3-step drop, looking, hits Lee on the slant. Lee able to gain a few more, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for Buffalo at their own 27. Last play of the 3rd quarter. Watson back to throw, looking left, and it's intercepted by the Vikings defense. Rhodes only has to beat, well, never mind. He would have had to have beat the receiver and Deshaun Watson. But either way, final play of the 3rd quarter is another turnover from Deshaun Watson, and the Vikings are going to have good field position. I mean, you can look on their roster and see what their overall ratings for each player is. So, like, if you see positions where they've got shitty ratings, that's probably what they want. Trubisky in the gun. 1st and 10 at the Buffalo 17. Looking, standing, throwing right. Touchdown to Reed. And Coach Red is beside himself right now, as Minnesota is about to tie this one up unless they shank the extra point. This one has turned into an unfortunately good game. Oh, I thought you were telling me to check the reply, like, look at my DF. The extra point is good, and we have a tie ball game here to start the 4th quarter. Buffalo 14, Minnesota 14. Brown fields this one and takes a knee in the end zone. Deshaun Watson will lead the Buffalo offense back out onto the field. 13 of 16. Closer to 15 of 16 if you add in those 2 to the other team. Both teams combined for 68 yards on the ground so far. Ingram with a carry. Gains 3. 2nd and 7 for the Buffalo offense. Williams motioning from left to right. Takes his position on the end of the line. He's the target of this one. And it's a gain of 7. 3rd and inches. Got to get ready for me Zoom meeting. No problem, Luke. Thanks for hanging out. Glad you could make it for a little while. Feel free to drop back in if we're still streaming later. I don't know how long your meeting goes. 3rd and inches. Buffalo looking to convert here. Complete to Ingram, who runs backwards, but there's no one anywhere near him, and he's going to end up gaining 4 yards. It's a doc appointment, so not long. I don't know how long your doctor's appointments are either. But either way, feel free to drop back by if you get a chance. Good luck. All right, Buffalo 1st and 10 after that 3rd down conversion. Ball game still tied, 14-14. Watson under center. Approaching 4 minutes to go in the game. Williams motioning left to right and takes his position on the end of the line again. Once again, he's the target. And that's going to be good for 7 yards. 2nd and 3. Now under 4 minutes to play. All right, can Watson lead his team down the field and get the victory that Coach Red so desperately wants to give him? This carry, Ingram carries for 4 yards, and it's a 1st down at the 50. He's up a bit on the tackling. You got to let him run. You got to give him some room. They can't get going if you won't move out of the way. Bills are going to have a 1st down here right at the 50-yard line as we approach 3 minutes to go in the game. Trip set, bunch to the right. Watson looking, throwing over to the right, and it's complete for 7 yards. And the receiver's hurt on the play. Holding his ribs, writhing. This one doesn't look good. 2nd and 7, and that's going to be an injury timeout. He's holding his right wrist now. So orange. Looks yellow to me. Actually, it looks more like macaroni and cheese if you're taking it out of the Crayola box. Play fake for Watson. Throws left. Complete to Hollister, the fullback. And this one taken down to the Minnesota 21. The clock rolls. They can't afford gold paint. Well, it is Minnesota. Watson in the gun. 4 wide receivers. Looking to the right. His receiver and his running back almost have a little mix-up there, but the receiver's able to haul it in for a gain of 4. That should take us to the 2-minute warning. And there it is. We've got 2nd and 6. Buffalo at the Minnesota 16-yard line with 2 minutes to go in the game. Jumbo set, numbers to the left. Watson under center. Hands off to Ingram, who tries to go up the middle, and he's going to be taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain, 3rd and 5, still at the 16-yard line. If the Vikings come up with a stop here, both teams have all 3 timeouts. If the Vikings come up with a stop, the Bills go for a field goal. The Vikings have a chance to win it on the next drive. Watson with an audible. A delayed handoff to Ingram, and it looked like he had it, but the linebacker comes up from behind and makes the stop. It's a gain of 4, but that's going to bring up 4th and 1. Minnesota takes their first timeout, and Buffalo brings out their field goal unit. Eventually, there we go. And the kick is good. Buffalo takes a 3-point lead here with 1:28 to go in the game. Buffalo 17, Minnesota 14. Can Trubisky lead the Vikings to the opposite outcome of what Coach Smitty Werberman Jensen is looking for? Webb fields this one in his end zone and runs it out. He only gets to the 22 before he's taken down. And he's hurt. This one looks like an elbow. He's not really moving that arm much. We'll see. All right, 1st and 10 with under 1.5 minutes to go. Trubisky looking to be the hero that no one wanted. Throws over the right, complete, just barely. Gain of 7. Minnesota still has 2 timeouts left, and clock still continuing to roll. Trubisky looking left, complete to Calvin Ridley, who instead of getting out of bounds and saving timeouts and time, spins and gets nothing extra, and the clock continues to drain. Trubisky rolling backwards, complete to Sims, and Sims is only going to gain 2. Vikings continue to let the clock bleed. 2nd and 8 for the Vikings. They technically only need a field goal to send this one to overtime. Trubisky looking to throw, and he's going to go down. Minnesota finally calls one of their timeouts, and it's 3rd and 12 from the 31-yard line with 36 seconds to go. Trubisky restoring Reds' faith. One bad play at a time. This one complete to Sims. Sims trying to be pretty, but only gains 4. It's 4th and 8, and there's no need to call the timeout here, considering if you miss it, it's over. Trubisky looking, throwing left. A leaping grab by Sanu, and it's complete to the Buffalo 36. The clock continues to roll, and they should have, at that point, they should have just called the timeout. 4 seconds to go. Graham Gano out to attempt a 53-yarder. Last week, he made an NFL record 65-yarder. Buffalo trying to ice the kicker, calling a timeout. If he makes this kick, we go to overtime. If he misses, Buffalo wins. Here we go. Snap, set, hold, kick is up. Kick is good. And we're going to overtime here in Minnesota. Graham Gano, too good for the Vikings. And this is the 2nd time that we've seen Buffalo in an overtime game, and that's just against users. Who knows? They could end up in overtime games every week. You recall in week 1, Coach Tater's Ravens beat them from a 3rd and 1 from the goal line play. And it looks like Buffalo is going to receive the kick. Both teams will have 2 timeouts. 4 minutes to play. Switzer returning this one out of the end zone, and he's going to be brought down at the 24-yard line. Vikings need an unwanted, unlikely miracle to win this one. There you see the total yards, 235 to 210. The rushing yards a little bit slightly skewed in Buffalo's favor. Ingram running this one, and he stumbles forward. He's going to gain 5 here. 2nd and 5 at the 29-yard line. Red on the edge of his seat, wondering, will his team disobey his direct orders to lose? Watson in the gun. Looking, staring down the middle of the field. He hits Marquise Lee, and that's going to be a completion to the 43-yard line. Minnesota has an injured player on the play. Lee now with 6 receptions, 80 yards, and a touchdown. Pretty solid day out there. That's going to be an injury timeout. It will stop the clock. 1st and 10 for Buffalo at their own 43-yard line. Watson, 5-step drop, swings it out to Ingram out of the backfield. And Ingram is going to get back to the line of scrimmage and no further. 2nd and 10 at the 43. I'm pretty sure Ingram has more receptions than carries. He's got 6 catches for 20 yards. Coach Smitty out here saying if the Vikings end up winning, the whole team gets cut. Single back in the backfield. Watson. Hands off, stretch play. Nope, this is more of a power run. And Ingram is going to gain 1. 3rd and 9. Can the Vikings come up with the stop here? This is our 2nd overtime game of the week. Watson, a handoff to Ingram. Ingram looked like he had space, but he's brought down. And that's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. The Vikings defense holds. While on to punt, it's blocked by Minnesota. They're just standing there. They're just looking at it. Minnesota coming up with the play of the game here. They could have picked that up and ran it back for 6. But one man did follow coach's instructions. He blocked the punt, but, you know, he was content to not do anything with it. But at this point, why? Why pick it up and run? All Minnesota has to do is kick a field goal here. And apparently I've scratched a sore or something on my nose because now I'm bleeding. But oh well. Minnesota in the I formation, 1st and 10 at the Buffalo 34. That one might make the highlight reel. Carlos Hyde picks up a gain of 8. That'll be 2nd and 2. Minnesota, all they have to do is kick a field goal, and they have so far the best kicker in the game. So I gotta like their chances here. How am I bleeding so much from one little scab? Oops, sorry about that, guys. No gain there on 2nd down. This one a stretch play to Hyde, who starts left, goes right, and ends up with a 1st down run. First and 10 for the Vikings. Here we go. Trubisky hands off to Hyde again. Hyde spins around a tackler, and he's going to pick up 9. Buffalo calling their timeouts. I'm not really sure why, though, because at this point, the game's over. All Minnesota has to do is kick the field goal. No point in stopping the clock. You're not getting the ball back. You're either going to get a stop or you're not. Here comes the Minnesota kicking team. They're not even going to try to get this one into the end zone. Taking the safe route. It's up. And it's good. Minnesota accidentally steals one here in overtime. And they come back from 14 points down to win this one 17-14 in overtime. Sorry, 20-17. Wow, I am dumb. Lost a whole ass touchdown or 2 field goals. The team's excited. The coach is irritated. There went the perfect season. Let's try this again. Your final score, Buffalo 17, Minnesota 20.